Okay, welcome back. Now we've set up all of our action mappings and axis mappings on our input in our game project settings. So now we're going to program those in. So we'll close this out. And to do that, we're going to go to our My Character blueprint that we created in an earlier video. So we're just going to double click this, and that should open our character blueprint up. If you get this window here, it's got a lot of settings right here. We don't have a skeletal mesh and all that stuff set up yet, but we'll do that at a later time. So to get you to your event graph, you're going to click this Open Full Blueprint Editor. So if we click here, we will get this here, and you may see this viewport here, which will have our character and some other components in a different setup. But what we're going to be interested in is this event graph. So we can extend this over a little bit. You'll see these events here that are grayed out by default. We're not going to use those, so we're just going to kind of right click and drag over here so that we get a little extra room. And we're going to start setting up our axis controls. So we're going to set up our move forward first. So we created an axis event called move forward. So to get that, we're going to, as it says here, to right click. So we're going to right click and we're going to type in move forward. And you should see right here we have under input axis events, and we want the event, not the value. You'll see this little icon here, so we're going to click that, and this will be red. So that is an event. So this is going to actually cause, when this happens, when we move forward, it's going to tell the program what we want it to do. So the first thing we need to do is off of this execute pin right here, we're just going to drag off, and when we with the left mouse button, and when we let go, we get this here. And what we want to do is we want to search for add movement input. And you'll see here we have input, and the F stands for a function. So we're going to click move, add movement input. And we'll have, it will automatically plug itself in here to the execute. And we've got a couple things. The target is ourself, so that's fine. Our axis value will tell us how fast we're going to move forward, which we designated that in our project settings. So we're just going to plug this here into our scale value. And the only other thing we really need to worry about is the world direction, so we'll know which direction we're facing. So we're going to have to go right over here, and we're going to get our control rotation for our pawn or for our characters. We'll right click once again, and we'll type in get control rotation. And you'll see under pawn here, get control rotation. And it'll say target is pawn. So we cannot plug this straight into the world direction, so we have to, we'll pull off of this node, and we will find a node called get forward vector. So we're going to pull off here and type in get forward, and you'll see under math vector get forward vector. And when we do this, this will tell us what direction we are facing, and when we plug in this here, that will set our world direction for us, and that should allow us to move forward. Just kind of move these over. Okay, so that will take care of our moving forward. So the next step we need to do is to add our move right. So what we will do is we will right click and we will type move right. And under our axis input events, we will choose move right. And we can pull off of here. Once again, add movement input, just like the other one. And we will plug our scale value in like we did for our other one. Drag this up a little bit. We're going to need this control rotation again. So get control rotation. And this time, instead of a forward vector, we're going to need a right vector. So we will click this, plug that in, and we will plug this in to our world direction. So now this should be all we need to do to be able to move forward, backwards, left, and right. And these, where we set up all of our keyboard controls as well as our left thumbsticks, these should our left thumbstick should work for our forward and also our left and right. So to kind of clean things up a little bit, we're just going to draw a box around all these, and we're going to add a comment. And the way you add a comment is just highlight, draw a box and highlight the nodes you want to comment on, and press the C key. It'll draw a box, and we're going to call this movement, and hit enter. Okay, so that is all we need to do for our movement. So we're going to kind of scroll down here just a little bit, and we're going to set up our mouse controls next. So we need to set up our to be able to turn with our mouse and also to look up. So we're just going to right click, and that axis event was turn. So if we type in turn, you'll see that here's our axis event for turn. We'll get our turn speed later. So scroll in here, turn, and we're going to pull this off, and we're going to get a yaw input. So from our axis value, we'll just drag off, and we'll type in we'll add controller yaw input right here. And that will plug that in, and that's all we need to do to turn. So to look up, we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to type in look up, axis events, look up, and in this case we're going to add a controller pitch. So we'll drag off of here, add controller pitch input. So this will allow us to be able to look up and down. So that will take care of all of our mouse controls, which is very simple. So we'll just plug this in, press C, and we'll call this mouse. Oops. Okay, mouse control. Okay, so that takes care of that. And one final thing we're going to do right quick is we're going to set up our jump. And so we're going to right click, and we'll type jump. And this time it's an action event jump. So we'll type that in. And we have two options. We can either set up where it's pressed and also where it was released. And we're only interested in when it is pressed. So we're just going to drag off of here. And the easy one is JUMP, jump, character, jump, plugs that in, and that is all there is to setting those controls up. So we now set up our movement controls, forward and right, our mouse controls, which will allow us to turn and also to look up and down, and then our character will be able to jump, and we can test this out, and we will in another video we will be setting up our turn rate or turn speed as well as our lookup speed. So one final thing before these will all take effect, we must hit the compile button here, and when it compiles that, we know that that is saved, so we can close this out and we're ready to move along.